Good afternoon. Welcome to Patriot Tough Talk. I'm your host, Mike. I was going to talk today about the border and the number of immigrants that come across, the number of children that are being held. I think I'm going to move that to Wednesday. Today I want to talk about people on the right's emotions and people who are anticipating things that might go down and hearing about pedophilia running wild and the Capitol wall and things along that nature. And I think what it's doing, what it's causing a huge level of anxiety for people. It's causing an angst so high. And then when you talk to people, some people think you're off your rock or crazy because you believe what you're hearing on the alt media. And what we have to remember is there's alt media and then there's disinformation media. There's media out there that's designed strictly to misguide you if you're a right person. I believe that we need to, the best thing for anybody who's watching what's going on the right and hoping that such and such will happen and this will happen, and I don't know all the things that could possibly happen. I mean, I'm in the same boat as you. I listen to people saying that President Trump will be president in April. Well, there's no way that there's a fact base for that. There's no proof for that. It's a great hope if you're a right person. It's a great hope if you're a Trump supporter. But the psychological effect that it's having on a lot of people, between their anticipation of arrests and changes and the crazy agenda that the current administration is running with border policies and gun laws, and it's all very anti-conservative and anti-patriot. And now we have this, came out today on one of the news feeds, that there's going to be a huge tax increase coming our way. That's Joe Biden's next gig. Next thing he wants to do is put out a big tax increase. So if you're a person who doesn't believe in the Biden administration and you're hoping for something else, the anticipation is very high. The anxiety is extremely high. And the current administration is doing nothing to make you believe that everything that you've heard is true, because they're roughshotting through policies and executive orders, and they're not answering any questions. And the president, he's not coming out and making any press conferences, which makes people think he does have the Alzheimer's or dementia that everybody's claiming he has. And you're going to have to just take a step back. And if anything is ever going to happen, it's going to happen. For your own personal mental health, you might want to just consider talking about it less, still being strong and still being faithful to whatever you believe, but keeping the anxiety down. Don't talk to people who are going to argue with you. Talk to people who are like-minded, and you walk away from that conversation feeling less angry, because that's what it is. People are angry. And if it had gone the other way, if President Trump won the election, there would be people that were angry. I truly believe, and I've seen it in people around me. It's hard. It's hard to really accept what's going on. It's hard to accept that we've allowed, meaning we, the government, the people that we put in place, our judges, our senators, our House of Representatives, we put those people there. and they failed us. And in a lot of situations, they're making decisions that aren't truly what the constituents want. Well, we have a way to combat that, and we have to be vocal. Not sitting home watching a video complaining that, the world's full of pedophiles. Well, the fact is, it is. We don't know who because nobody does. Somebody does, but it ain't me. And it isn't the person who's sitting there watching the alt media and saying, they're saying that there's a lot of pedophilia and this and that. And yeah, there's child trafficking. We just talked about human trafficking on this show, and human trafficking is at a huge point, and that should be the number one thing the United States is attacking. But yet we're sitting around and we're debating over whether President Trump's going to be in office again, whether the military's in charge, whether the election was a fraud, whether, you name it, we're debating it. And people on the right are just getting crazy. They're getting nervous. They're getting anxious. There's people out there that said, well, by April 1st, it'll be all turned over. Well, April 1st is coming, and people are anxiously anticipating what could happen. And I think that for your own mental health, you got to find something that grounds you. Either you take time out from watching and listening to all the stuff that you believe in, and listen to some tunes, or read a book, or take a walk. Find something that's going to help you come back to earth. But I have people in my family that don't see the same way I do. And it's very distressing when you try to talk to them about it, because they want to overtalk you. They want to talk louder than you. They want to disagree with things. They say, oh, I'll have to look into that. And the fact is who has time in their life who has time to look into it? If I'm looking into it because I'm retired, that's what I have time to do. But not everybody in your life has time to do that. And the people that say they're going to look into it, they never look into it. They're busy. They're doing work. They're taking care of their families. But the fact is, when you get into a conversation with them, they're more than willing to tell you how wrong you are. And you're more than willing to tell them how wrong they are. And because everybody's anticipating some grandiose stage where, something rises out of the ashes and, explodes, and people get shown for what they are. And we could be waiting for that day a long time. And you have to find other ways to use your energy before it consumes you. I see people in my life that have gone through it. They get so wrapped up in it that it becomes them. It becomes them, and they can't talk about it. And if they do talk about it, they bring it up and can't talk about it, because it's so hard not to talk about it when you wanted something different. Now, a lot of people believe that things didn't go the way they should have because of whatever reason, machines, stuffing of ballots. But it is what it is. What we have to do now as a group is we have to band together. We have to find a common goal. Like in my state, hopefully our common goal is to get rid of Chuck Schumer. That would be awesome. But everybody sitting home bitching about it really isn't going to make a difference. Find conservative groups. Find conservative organizations that you can join. Get ready for the 22 elections. You can solicit for a candidate, and you can also go out and rally and solicit against the candidate. So in 2022, if we want these people gone for roughshotting everything they're pushing through the House right now, the best way for you to use your energy and the best way for you to keep your psyche in check is become a member of a group. Now, I don't know any groups. I have to research them myself because I'm interested in getting involved in a group just for the same reasons that I'm talking about. I'm as consumed as the next person by what's going on. And I watch very closely the bills and the laws and the this and the that are being passed. I mean, the COVID virus or the COVID relief bill was a joke. I mean, 9% of that was for Americans to deal with COVID. And we got $1,400, or well, we will get $1,400 per person, maybe, depending on how much you make. But the fact is we put 20 times that out to other things that didn't need it, that it was unnecessary. And it went through and we let it go through. You know, we feel like we have nothing to say, but we have a lot to say. And a lot of these people, the influencers that are on right now, they're great and they do a great job. But they're pushing people to get their own shows, use their own voice. And that's awesome. That's why I started this. But I think that we need to use our voice in a different way. You know, they did a protest the other day in Washington to bring the fence down, the wall of Washington down. And we need to use our voice more. We need to go and get in front of our local representatives and let them know they will not be back next year if they don't start voting the way we want them to vote and not the way they're told by their party. And unfortunately, none of us have paid enough attention over the years to how they vote at the state level or the federal level. Every time a bill comes up, we should have our face in it, seeing what it's about, and we haven't. And we've allowed this to happen. We've allowed the United States to come where it is right now. And there's 8,000 conspiracy theories out there. China's behind it. George Soros is behind it. The New World Order's behind it. Bill Gates is behind. I believe that one. Bill Gates is probably behind it. But the fact is that we've allowed it. We as Americans have become complacent, and we don't utilize our voice the way we should. Now, I am going to get in whatever group is going to be anti-Chuck Schumer and get him out of office. He's up for election in 2022, and I'm going to join whatever group is going to try to get him out. You need to find the people in your area and the people that have gone against what your will is, because they're there by us, for us. We put them there. We can take them out just as fast. But we have to do that in a way that violence is not the answer. But sitting home watching videos and bitching about it's not the answer either. Get involved. Get out there. Use that energy that you have and become part of something. Something bigger than you in your living room. Go out and let people know that this is what you stand for and this is what you want. And do it with other people who think just like you. It's going to make less tension on you for talking to people that want to argue. Like if you talk to somebody, I'm on the right. If I talk to somebody from the left, they don't want to hear it. They absolutely talk over. And very few people I can sit down and talk to about these topics. But if I'm in an organization which is all about, campaigning against the person that you want out of office because they definitely are not who you want in, then those people are all going to have like-minded views, and it's not going to be as stressful. So in closing today, don't read into all the hype. Take time for yourself. Ground yourself when you're starting to get off your chain with depression and craziness, like you feel trapped like a rat because there's nothing you can do. At that point, don't talk to these people that you know you're going to fight with. It's no good for you and it's no good for them, and it's definitely no good for your relationship with that person. Go online. Find an organization, a legal organization, that you can join that is going to go and do it the right way. Let's get these people out of office by voting them out. If they're not there, they can't do this anymore. They're running very scared right now because they know they only have till 2022 to get all this crap through. And once it's over, they're done. They know they're done. So take your time, find the right organization for you, and get out there and be active. Being active is going to be the key to make things change in this country. Sitting home complaining is not. Well, that's what I got for today. Hope everybody takes a piece of it, thinks about it, and get out there and find something for them that's going to help them get through the anxiety that's being caused by regular media, alt media, and your friends, unfortunately. All right, that's it for me today. Peace out.